Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. It is the 5th of July, 2019, still riding the 4th of July wave.
Pretty awesome.
All weekend long. I don't know if you guys had to work today. We are literally working all weekend long. It's amazing that we were able to come to you right now, but we are, and we're excited about today's show. I'm excited about Trump's salute to America yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch all the footage, it was amazing. The parade was amazing. Trump's speech was amazing, even though the prompter failed on him. It kept raining. He could barely see to read the prompter. He said it was difficult to read it because of the rain. He kind of had to go impromptu because the prompter failed him. And then there was music at the end on PBS, like it is every year, with a huge amount of fireworks. And because of the rain, it was so smoky you could barely see the fireworks.
But we watched our little fireworks, and I thought they were pretty awesome. But like, I can't imagine what it would have been like, because they had like literally, I think they had like 6 or 7 across at every
big
shot.
booms.
Boom.
And the
boom,
issue with
boom.
that is, with fireworks, you have smoke, and when you have such dampness in the air, the smoke has nowhere to go. And you could tell when watching the footage last night that the people that the cameramen and the angles that they had set up,
yeah,
they had to keep switching them because there was nowhere for the smoke to go, and you couldn't see the fireworks.
Right.
Now, there were hundreds of thousands of people that showed up. They went all the way back to the Washington Monument and then some.
The media predicted Trump's a small crowd. Now, okay, so Michelle was telling me was that PBS always does the thing, and that Washington D.C. always has fireworks.
Yeah,
Trump piggybacked that.
Yeah,
and they were so upset. Now, by the way, I have this hat on because somebody sent us 3 of these.
Who sent this? So let me show you the back of it.
They're pretty awesome.
The back of them says "Growing." Was it Growing America?
Yeah,
yeah. I love this, and I told Patriot Gallery, this is actually like Kansas for President hats. You know, we always say Kansas for President, farms for everyone. So if Trump gets elected in 2020, then Kansas 2024, and these will be the hats. I think they'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so, of course, everybody had to poo-poo it. Bette Midler just tweeted out, hashtag you stupid fat F-U, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, everybody's just like, have you looked in the mirror yet, lady? Sometimes when you live in a glass house, you don't throw rocks.
Wow.
So you don't want to hashtag that kind of, don't call somebody fat when you have some.
Okay, but that's not even the point.
Issues.
It's just.
But no, I mean.
You just, when you're slinging mud, it literally becomes a mud fight. And it's not sophisticated. It's not intelligent. It's not American. Bernie Sanders didn't even wear red, white, and blue yesterday. He couldn't even wear like an America hat.
So yeah, the Trump speech.
They're anti-American people running for president. You do understand this?
Not about him, and the fact that, I mean, like, most Americans who, if they watched it,
yeah,
would be like, wow, that was
he talked about the Wright brothers and rock and roll and landing on the moon, and I mean, he gave some Civil War stories and some Revolutionary War stories, and I think he even talked about George Washington Carver and Alexander Graham Bell and like all of these amazing accomplishments.
I think he botched Thomas Edison a little bit.
He talked about what makes America wonderful. What does he have?
He just, oh my gosh, so muddy.
Oh, geez. Yeah, we're babysitting our cousin's dog.
He's a good boy, but he is really muddy right now going up the stairs.
But it was an excellent apolitical speech.
Yeah.
You know, just like, let's talk about the country. There is one thing that I want to hit on, and I can either do it now or I can do it later. So today, when Trump was leaving the White House, and they were doing like the interview and press conference, and he's talking to everybody, and he's like, he keeps talking like about the military and how it's, you know, we really need more people to join the military because our job market is so great that nobody's wanting to join the military. And so as I'm watching this, I'm going, Trump, was the big show of all the military stuff like a recruitment process? So then he goes, after I thought that, he literally goes, and I think it was pretty good recruitment. It was really just, he literally says, it was really just a good recruitment. And I thought to myself, did you just say that out loud? Did you just play your hand? Because everybody that keeps saying that Trump was doing this for political reasons, I don't agree with that at all. He may have been trying to show a strong America, but what's wrong with that? There's literally nothing wrong with that. However, I do think that what is coming down the line, Trump wants to be prepared with a strong military, whether that's equipment or personnel. And I really do believe that when he just said it was really just a recruitment, that's Trump being honest and upfront with you guys and saying, listen, I'm recruiting American soldiers. And that's what yesterday was about. And I think that's why a lot of people were upset. That's what I just found that out today. Just literally right before we went live and I was watching him and I was like, I think this was a recruitment process.
Well, I don't know. I think that that's kind of a little bit too small of a thing. I think he really just wanted to make a good day because it wasn't really just talking about the military. There was a lot of other things about to make America great. The media ran headlines right up to the day of President Trump's July 4th speech predicting only a tiny crowd would show up, how spectacularly wrong they were. An independent article titled Trump Officials Fear Embarrassingly Tiny Crowd for 4th of July Speech was typical of the coverage. It was
That's
rainy.
embarrassing reporting.
In reality, the crowds were stretching way beyond the Washington Monument. You couldn't really. There was like no
Look
room.
at this tiny crowd. These are people. There are people. If you've never been to D.C., this continues on back there behind the Washington Monument. There are people back there. More people.
More of the people. Yeah, so, and it was really, really hot, and it was really, really rainy, and there was a lot of people, which didn't make it comfortable for the people who were there. They would have liked to have, people who were there would have liked it to be smaller crowds. Yeah. Then they could have gotten closer.
Most of the time, when you have rain, and you have heat, and you have ickiness, people go home. Mm-hmm. And the crowds are tiny. Now, this could have been devastating for Trump's big to-do, except for it wasn't. Why? Because the people that support America and the people that support Donald Trump are die hard.
So that's what I want to kind of point out, because to me, I never would have thought to go to Washington, D.C. for this. First of all, I would have thought there's going to be way too many people.
That would be my first and foremost.
But one of our girlfriends who've been on InfoWars now, Twitter friends, Charlie K, she got on a plane. She went. She said it was hot. There were so many crowds. And it was really wet, and but
did she say it was worth it?
I think so, but it was just uncomfortable. You know what it's like when you're just uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Well, I was watching Right Side Broadcasting, and they kept apologizing for their appearance because they're like, it is just so hot and so sweaty, and it's been a really long day.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, a webcam at the National Mall was abruptly shut down without notice and been removed. Let's see, I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, probably so that they wouldn't show that there were actually massive crowds. That picture doesn't lie. and none of the mainstream media outlets, whether it's a newspaper or on cable news, are going to show that picture.
So he was saying there weren't anybody people. We're about ready to relive Trump's inauguration. But what this guy was unaware of is it's silly to judge the size of a crowd hours before an event starts.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it was amazing because, again, I was watching Right Side Broadcasting, and where they had their camera on the podium, there was no one there, like, right up until 15, 20 minutes before Trump was scheduled to speak, which it got postponed.
And then we have the Trump baby blimp here.
Except for they missed
and there was like
a step. Hang on, though. They missed a step in there. They got the permission to have it, but they forgot to get the permission to actually fly it, so it had to stay grounded. Mm-hmm. That was an oops. Oops. Yeah. Oops. Gotta have permission to fly it.
But I love that Russian TV actually mocked Donald Trump. Russian TV media has joined U.S. Democrats in dissing President Trump's 4th of July celebration as low energy with rusty tanks. I think it's hilarious. Russian state TV is obsessively bashing Trump's low-energy weak parade with rusty tanks.
Oh my gosh.
The hosts laugh at Trump's claim about Revolutionary War airports and other historical flubs. There's your city on a hill. There's your world leader. And Martians have been defeated. Because he said we're going to go to Mars.
Yeah. No. He said we're going to plant an American flag on Mars.
But I think that's the best thing that Russia could have done for Trump.
Yeah. We're not in cahoots with him. Watch us bash his 4th of July speech.
Right.
Did you just yawn? It's very valid why she yawned. It's, we're getting no sleep right now. You all should be thankful, and I never ever say that we are actually here with you today, and we may not be here with you next Friday.
So we had the U.S. Navy flight demonstration squadron, the Blue Angels fly past Lincoln Memorial, and somebody else was this lefty guy here. This is exactly what Putin wanted Trump to do today: fly some Blue Angels. Really? Are you kidding me? So, whatever.
They will always take any opportunity to spin it to fake news.
They just jealous. You want to know why? Because Melania Trump defied the 4th of July rain in rainbow style.
No, she didn't wear those stilettos.
She wears them all day, every day.
Isn't she amazing?
This outfit. Now, somebody said this on Twitter, and I want to know why. Why aren't retailers making knockoffs of all of her dresses that she's wearing and selling them retail? So we could all have the millennial dresses.
That is an excellent idea.
She looks stunning. They are always very tasteful.
Yeah.
They're very slenderizing.
Mm-hmm.
They're very feminine. And it was just, when she walks out, and she's not overt. Like for a model, she doesn't show off anything. Yeah. She's very conservative in the way she dresses. And she just looks sharp. You know what I mean? She just looks sharp.
Move out the way,
and
Jackie. There's a new first lady in town.
I just think they're jealous. Honestly. Jealous. They're just jealous. Okay. All right. So it's been a little while since we've been on. Oh, here's another picture. Despite the left's best attempt to destroying a salute to America, the place is packed. I don't know, Michelle, if while I kind of talked about Colin Kaepernick, if you want to find any of the videos that shows the flyovers or anything, you want to show any parts of his speech.
Okay.
We do want to see, while we have you here, what the Donald, oh my gosh. We have obtained exclusive footage of Carpe Duncum's and real Donald Trump's now infamous meeting. So he was invited. By the way. Oh,
that is so great.
It was the happiest moment of my life.
Oh my gosh,
that was so funny. Really, oh my gosh, yeah. So the guy who makes a lot of those really good Trump memes, he posted a video and he's like, here's my spot. And he's like right up there. He was invited. He was invited by the real Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
So we want to go. Now is a time where we look at Trump's. We do silly songs with Larry. We do silly tweets with Trump. No, just kidding. All right. So happy birthday to our great United States Secret Service. That was he just tweeted out half an hour ago. A record millions of people employed. Yay for them. I want people self-employed. Jobs, 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 jobs. Okay, so he tweets this out 18 hours ago. He retweeted Jack Posobiec. See, this is what I love to do, because what I love to look through Trump's timeline of what he tweets and who he tweets, because then I know who has his ear. And that's kind of like really interesting to me. So he tweets out Jack Posobiec, which says, amazing Trump address and only Onan covered the full day. And then he says, tweet about Antifa, Donald Trump.
Can you just say One American News Network instead of I don't think it's pronounced Onan.
Whatever. Wow, Randy Quaid. So okay, here we have Independence Day star.
I know,
right?
Yeah.
Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
He was adopted by aliens. Maybe he's been.
Ain't I been saying it?
Ain't I been saying it, Ernie?
Oh my god.
Ain't I been saying? We say that all the time, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't I been saying it?
I love that movie. I grew up on that movie. I've probably seen that movie 200 times.
We'll not go silently into the night.
We will not vanish without a fight. We're gonna live on. We're gonna something.
So Donald Trump tweeting out Randy Quaid. Wow, rousing, great speech, great air show, great bands, the great pilots, the great timing of the speech with the flyovers. We are also blessed to be Americans. Happy Independence Day, everybody.
Okay, so I will go over here to these little flyovers really quick since Randy Quaid talked about them. Here, there's your piece right there.
As far as the fireworks go, Phantom Fireworks actually donated $750,000 of fireworks.
All right, here we go. There's an
Hey, do you think Trump colluded with Russia?
Oh, yay, ads.
Yeah, do you think Trump colluded with Russia?
I think this was an excellent.
It wasn't overdone. We were all thinking like hundreds of tanks. There was 2 tanks, man.
Yeah.
This is probably why Russia was like, tanks. It was not in the right. There were some airplanes. Right. It wasn't like a bunch.
Well, what I liked about it was with the air show, they had them coming in waves. It wasn't just like pause the whole speech for an air show. He would say something, and then there would be, more planes that came through. So, yeah, I think it's really, really awesome. And the thing that gets me about the critics of Trump with the tanks or the airplanes or what have you, I'm thinking to myself, when else do we get to fly these things for Americans? I mean, and when do the pilots ever get to do something for all of America? I kind of consider this, in my humble opinion, kind of a slap in the face at our servicemen and women, because I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't they be allowed to show off and fly and do an homage for the American people? I mean, how is that equaling Trump turning something political,
right,
to allow America to pause and appreciate our armed forces?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
So he tweets out, Ari Fleischer, I don't care about your politics, what your politics are. This tribute to our military on America's Independence Day is beautiful and inspiring. Years ago, I went to a July 4th celebration in a field in Indiana where concerts were held. They asked veterans of each military branch to stand as they played the anthem of each service. Then they asked everyone to stand as they play the national anthem, God Bless America. Trump tweeted out Mark Thiessen, who says, this is a great speech. All those making a fuss about it look increasingly ridiculous with every passing minute. Looking back from the Lincoln Memorial to the crowd along both sides of the reflecting pool. Do you want to tell them your story about your thanking a veteran?
Yeah. Hang on. I'm sharing this on Facebook because we are still unable to stream on
Have
Facebook.
you gotten any response from
I have
them?
not gotten a response from Facebook. It might take a little while. So I just wanted to share this with our YouTube viewers or our Facebook followers.
So I know you can't see them very well, but you can get the idea of just like boom, 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 like lots of booms. Just look, I mean, like seriously, when Trump asked to like make it big, like this is like huge.
Well, and the fact that Phantom Fireworks donated these, I think, is a really big deal.
You will never see a display like this ever, like this, as many as went off.
And I would imagine that they went so high in the air that, like, anywhere in DC, you'd probably be able to see these fireworks. It was really, really amazing.
Yeah.
And imagine what you would have actually seen had the smoke been able to dissipate a little bit
I was
easier.
just thinking of how neat it would have been to be there.
So did you guys get a chance to watch our own firework display from our little town that we went to on Wednesday evening on the 3rd? I know a lot of you did. It's had more views than our shows actually normally get, which I'm really glad about. But after we signed off with you guys, probably, 45 seconds later, we had climbed some stairs, headed back to our car, and we were at the lower end of a hillside. So we climbed these stairs to get to the top of a street where we walk all the time. We grew up there. We used to sled ride down that hill. Okay, I mean, this is our hometown. And at the top, I saw this very, very tiny old man with one of his rolling walkers, and he was crossing the street. I'm sure his car and his family who was with him was parked right there so that he wouldn't have to travel very far. And he was kind of going really, really slow, just looking down, watching his feet, even though there's a crowd of people like kind of crossing in front of him, and he's just going slow. And I noticed that he had on his Navy service hat. And so I often thank veterans when I see them. You know, if they're not wearing a hat or some sort of distinguishing, you can't unless you are introduced to somebody, in which case I told my friends, I said, I do this because it's 70% selfish of me because of the intense joy that I get by thanking them. And because I mean it, the very safety of our country. And I always take it back to our founding fathers, who were the first Americans to put their lives. I know she's upset about my thing.
Nails. You show your nails.
They're red, white, and blue. Who laid down their lives for our country and for everyone else, right? And so to me, it's really important to, and I didn't always do this growing up. This is kind of a new thing that I've been doing, relatively new speaking, considering my age. And so I just stopped him, and I knew that he was probably going to be hard of hearing. So I kind of had to get into his bubble and touch him to make sure that he heard me. And I wanted him to be able to read my lips. And so I touched his arm, and I just said, thank you for your service. And it was so, I've said this to so many people, but his reaction really blew me away. He was looking down like this, and he kind of paused for a second, and I thought maybe he hadn't heard me, and I thought, I'm going to have to say this again. And he looks up at me, and he just, like, his whole face lights up, and he says, you're welcome. And he said it, and I get goosebumps all over again. Just like, the way that he said it was in a manner that said, like you would if you had really sacrificed something. Like if you had given someone a car or something. Like let's say you had like a $30,000 car and you knew somebody needed it, and you just decided, you know what? I'm going to give this person this car. And that person recognizes, oh my gosh, you have just given me something. And you're welcome. It's not just, hey, you're welcome, or you're welcome. You know, you're welcome. He was like, literally, you recognize this massive sacrifice that I made. And it was a gift, almost more of a sacrifice. His you're welcome was a gift back to me. And it was one of the most incredible exchanges, a very quick exchange. And I kind of rubbed his arm and I left. And it was just, I don't think either of us expected to have had that moment with each other.
So says, Michelle, 20 years ago, we had people in the UK start saying that we had to start dissing our armed forces and our flag.
Wow.
Or anything patriotic because of the BNP or the National Front thugs hijacking our identity.
That was because the leftist view and the political agenda was in the same as the USA is what they're going through now. So what happened 20 years ago? I mean, roughly 20 years ago. It was before 9/11, but you're kind of leading into this warmongering and
well, I'm sure he was talking about right after 9/11, but yeah.
And all this stuff. You just kind of see an explosion of, you know what? Poo-poo the military, poo-poo.
Yeah, the same with like
Vietnam all over again. So it was, anyway, it was really, really special.
So I'm going to play this.
Part of one of the greatest stories ever told, the story of America. It is the epic tale of a great nation whose people have risked everything for
It's an angel
they
mom.
know is right.
Sorry, we're mute.
On this day, 243 years ago, our founding fathers pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to declare independence and defend our God-given rights. We will never forget that we are Americans, and the future belongs to us. The spirit of American independence will never fade, never fail, but will reign forever and ever and ever.
They did this in front of the Lincoln Memorial, by the way.
Have a glorious Independence Day. Have a great 4th of July.
That's so cool.
Word.
We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. Have a wonderful evening, guys.
Sweet home.
Let's go.